know DJ No Side is doing the best sounding. Get up with the one back on Bruno. There you go, I gotta check this out. Maybe I need to be on stage. I don't want to be on stage, it will be easier here. DJ No Side, ladies and gentlemen, quand soit fait qu'une affaire à tu nous book DJ Side. What he's doing. There you go. Check 1, 2. Okay. Okay, yes. Perfect. Super. Okay. He's super good at what he's doing, ladies and gentlemen. Book DJ No Side. I'm getting 10% commission tout le monde jodi a qui book DJ No Side. For sure for the next event. As you guys know that we always start our event with prayer. With that being said, I want you to give a warm welcome to Minister Eddie for the opening prayer of the night. Eddie, please stand.
Father, we honor you tonight. For giving her such a wonderful idea to bring couples and loved ones together. We know that you have matched us up in a home first before we are going out to do ministry. So we thank you for tonight. We thank you for everybody that made the sacrifice to be here, that made plans to be here. And those that couldn't make it, we ask that you put your special covering on them as well. And we ask that you bless this night, that everyone will able to get something out of tonight, that they're able to act on their life and carry on with what it is that they get here tonight. Let us have a good time and look on each other as we love you and put you first in our lives. In the name of Jesus we pray, and everybody says,
Voilà, et un gros merci pour Minister Eddie as well, parce que nous connaissons que dans tout ça que nous avons fait, si nous mettons grand maître là, c'est sûr que nous avons privé et pas gagné rien qui est capable de bloquer nous dans la route qui est tracée pour nous. Je vais poser une question. Combien de monde qui a un business là? Si nous avons un business, if you are business owners, please raise your hand. Okay. So we still have few people not business owners. Good. Bâton bravo pour business owners, you pour mettre. Raison fait demander nous pour nous battre bravo pour eux, c'est parce que as we are getting into inflation, the business owners are the one with the better shots than anybody else. So please support business owners in our community, and most importantly, you raise your hands, you say that you're business owners. Do the networking today. What type of business do you have? Don't be afraid to sell your business. You're already looking good. That's the biggest thing, right? Presentation, you already look great. So now tell people about your business. What do? Eventually you have new clients here in the room. Once again, thank you, Eddie. Now, without further ado, I think we have to make a few changes on our program for the night because we know plusieurs bails qui ont été pour des faits. Et puis nous manger. By the way, est-ce que nous aimons genre décoration ça fait for the appetizer? I'm really in love with that, right? Wow. Présentation c'est vraiment qui. Regardons Jean, quand monsieur qui a volé crédit là, dit c'est lui-même qui fait hier soir. Je ne vais pas dire qui est, mais je ne vais pas dire. Jean présentation fille au fait il faut envie manger. But one thing that is important about the presentation que nous pas connaissons, c'est que moun sa yo testé plusieurs fruits avant que vous preniez plus bon fruit parce que vous voulez que nous-mêmes nous testions plus bon fruit. The grapes, everything well balanced. So once again, shout out to Everlasting for meticulously organize that event to make sure that everything is on point. Now let's welcome on stage for a wonderful presentation by Mr. and Mrs. Belizaire joining up on stage. Battion gros bravo pour deux photoriques Mounsa qui va rejoindre on stage.
My wife is a little bit shy. I'm just going to go ahead and stay. How's everyone doing tonight then? All right. I'm going to be very quick. It's going to go by as quick as you could close your eyes. No, not really. I'm just playing. All right. So my presentation tonight is about raising children in the home. All right? Yeah. There's a lot of different ways we could raise children, and there's a lot of different ways that it comes, right? Sometimes you get into marriage and one or the other already has children, and now they become your children or your child. Or sometimes we are just starting from brand new and we have children already. Now, I'm going to touch on basically one key point, and everybody can say it's romance with children. Not with the children, but romance and children. You guys get it? Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, that sounded bad already. All right. So, yeah, that was bad. All right. So, how many of you guys, can you hear me, right? That's okay. If it cuts off, I think it's switching mic. Good enough. So, a lot of times we have children, and sometimes we don't feel, or one of the partners do not feel, that you're actually giving the child more attention than the person you had the child with. And sometimes that brings a disaccord with you and the spouse because the time is being allocated to the child and you guys have the child together. That's true. See, the romance has to be in accord. I've been married for 16 years. Let me give you guys my life story first of all. My name is Eddie. My wife is Marilyn. Babe, stand up so they can see how beautiful you are. She's not going to say it. I'm going to say it for her. My wife does have a hair business. She does hair. She does a very good job at doing hair. She has her own shop, so go ahead, visit her, find her, get a number, anything else. She's not going to do it. She's very shy. So, I'm going to keep out with the last one. That's not part of my presentation. I'm just saying it because she's my wife, okay? All right, Papa, all right. So, we've been married 16 years, and this is some of the things that I have learned. I'm going to tell you from my mistake. When we had children, I always used to think that I could do it all. But when I made the cushion somewhere, I got it. Yeah, all right. Petit tombé, Madame Akwele, where the baby go? I don't even know. We get tired. But sometimes we get so tired of taking care of the child that we don't have enough time or enough energy to show your spouse that I still love you. It is still about you, and it doesn't become all about the child that puts a barrier between you and your spouse. So the romantic part about you and your partner diminishes. And when it begins to diminish, you start unvaluing what both of you guys values in the first place. Before we had children, we already knew that we valued children. Everybody's with me? Before you had a child, you wanted a child. This is all for people that doesn't have children as well, okay? Yeah, I'm giving you the pointers right now before. We wanted a child. You got a child. But after you have the child, and the child is already here, the child is born, we get ready to be moving forward. So when you have your child, and you guys do not have the intentions or the expectation of what you want out of the child together, it creates an issue. The issue that it creates is, my expectation, like for example, let me madame let's see what now for this one. Madame why? So now I'm getting mad. Why are you telling me I can't beat my child? She's like, no, I'm not telling you can't beat them, but you don't have to beat them for everything. Make sense what I'm saying? What is the expectation? So I go and I start beating, and then now we're fighting, and the child is still there looking at us. You understand what I'm saying? It creates a discord between you and your spouse. Now, the understanding has to be on both parts. Ça fait ça. Because the both of you guys are raising a child. C'est pas là. Ça veut dire qu'il faut tant qu'on vini qu'on y a pour un garçon qui a la pour battre. Mais s'ils font des autres qu'on y a, font tant de garçons vini. No, sometimes you have to take charge and do it. So for example, petit garçon, moi petit garçon que l'été, monsieur pas des autres, non? Non, mais moi ça Madame Hélène hyper. He's not hyper. Monsieur Dixon, si tu fais Michel avant, je ne vais pas faire Timoun encore. Moi, je vais bénir 4 Timoun. Mais si tu fait premier petit garçon, je ne vais pas faire. Là, pour Michel dormir, il faut que je me mettez Michel en bas seul. On va aller pour moi. Pour que je là, pour juste dormir. Mais quand ça m'a demandé, je suis capable de la regarder. What are you doing? And I'm telling her, I'm putting him to sleep. What do you mean? You said, tellement brigand. Même le dormi, monsieur, a pas. What am I saying? Il y a tous les gens qui fait au soir au papa ou bien au maman. Si nous tous les deux pas mettre tête nous ensemble, nous-mêmes va commencer la bataille si nous n'avons même pas été là. Faut que nous qui mettons tête nous ensemble pour connaître comment on a levé Timounio pour nous joindre au meilleur avenue avec Timoun Sari. Je vais dire un bagage qui fort. S'il n'y a pas deux personnes qui lèvent Timoun, puis devant, Timoun ne sont pas levés, les Timoun ça a fait Timoun pour nous lever petit. Parce que les pas bien élévation dans le petit parlant par contre comment pour battre élévation. Est-ce que nous l'avons avec nous? You have to do what you have to do with your child now, so your child can do what they did with their child. Pas de compte dit comme ça. Longue petit ouais. Ah, mes amis, ouais, même je m'appelle de tité, moi j'ai un bon petit prima parce qu'il t'aime. Les monsieur à l'école, il va même bien côté bullshita. Teacher dit comme ça, mais c'est pas genre chita dans la classe là. Le gars de teacher dit ça fait pas chita. Il dit I don't know, he doesn't sit down. Les moi même moi dans travail, bonjour moi vais dans travail, moi même moi chita moi sur computer comme ça pas chita tout dit waouh. Et moi fait petit garçon ça. Gâté petit garçon. What I'm saying is ça pas honte qu'on a dit on joue après yo quand même. Amen. So, if I'm saying amen, mais c'est comme si prêcher ma prêcher. Comment dire amen, Sorry. Mais si vous n'êtes pas capable de lever, chercher moyen pour capable faire meilleur avec lui, non seulement avec Timouna, mais avec partner qui va lever Timouna ensemble. Parce que même si Timouna a levé, ou même à Maria, ou même à Madame, still besoin d'une relation intime entre nous-mêmes. Parce que si on n'a pas love là nous-mêmes, côté à nous, c'est nous-mêmes pour lui pour les lever pour dire comme ça, mais comment tu es maman à papa, et c'est comme ça m'a appelé demain si Dieu veut. Conseil ça moi pour tes parents, c'est pas parce que vous ne connaissez déjà, mais moi just remind ou si vous connaissez déjà. Et si vous ne connaissez pas tout, vous apprenez à se faire. Dernier moment qui te L'aime de l'école Haïti, de l'école collège belle. Veni si petit. Pas de comme dit comme ça. Ou même, le m'a calo m'a pique sur mon pas là. Parce que mon tolère mon pile. Et vous voyez, les amis tellement courir souhait. Pas de dire oh souhait pour un petit bouquet. I didn't know what that meant, but souhait tout là pour sale. A courir dans toute la l'école là. Là où il veut m'en dire pas occuper le retirer la soulier on va pas même c'est bateau, pas courir, bateau. Pour qui ça me voit histoire ça? Faut que yon qui kembe là et qu'on l'autre qui a nurture. Pas jamais pas quitter mon cap nurture pour les nurture. Parce que ça la bâti moun nan a aidé demain si Dieu veut. Maman te comme kembe là, papa même te comme corriger. Kounya me connaît bâton ça te comme oui calé te comme calé mieux, c'est parce que il te remet. Maman tout me connaît ça fait il te comme kembe comme ça, c'est parce que il te voulait pour moi sentir love qu'il gagne pour moi pour pas besoin de dehors. L'or pas bâti moun nan, ça lui besoin la caille là, comme souffler, il va joindre dehors. Et l'elfin joindre dehors, pas grand yon a dit pour venir joindre encore la caille. There's nothing you can say. Il pas retourner joindre la caille parce qu'il pas sentir déjà. So while we're in the mood of love, love yourself, love your spouse, and love your children. Have a good night.
Mwen gen pi go bravo go editan pou souple. Mwen tou kap kontan ki edi pale de men jan pa pale. Ou mwen gen madame Elise la kap redi zore li gam di mwen jan pa ka fe men bay la. It's a child. But I learned so much. And I have one as well that is 8. So hopefully I would have that strength to do it. But I think I'm the reverse version. I'm like more the Tulina in the house. So she's the boss. She's the one like, and I'll be like, oh, cute. It's a boy, so he will go most of the time to me than to mommy. But it's a good thing. Actually, we share the same agent. He's a matter as well, so I'll keep your advice on that. But great presentation. I'm going to go à vos poésies parce que nous besoin ça on communiquer par moi. En plus, fois, on a dit que nous besoin d'image bon haïtien. But we never talk about our kids that will take over to take that continuation of our generation. So, thank you so much. Okay, so when you're about to jouer là, parce que about tout le monde chita, you feel boring and not having fun. It's all about party. And Erna told me that this is the right time pour nous faire your couples game. Et c'est bon moment si t'as pas la bonne nature, on va dire que couple. To can be been with you couples, give no like I give book home. No one to can be able to give over the you never know. So let me ask Romy to join me on stage. He will guide the couples game as we are moving. Romy, you know me. You know. Have you fait nous péter ballon, bouche à bouche, bye bye, ça va. Take over, my brother.
How's everybody doing? All right. The only reason why I'm here, apparently Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Phil could make it. So Anna asked me to host that part. Yes. So if you have to replace Oprah and Dr. Phil, I think it's a great, it's not a bad deal, right? All right. Amazing deal. I know. Before I start with the questions, let me tell you guys a little bit about myself. I am no Dr. Phil, obviously. I'm just Rumi, and I have my beautiful wife in here too, also with me. All right, she's a nurse practitioner, not the fake one. Sorry, not the fake one. And too soon. That was too soon. And for me, what can I say? My wife, she's the brain one, she's the smart one. I am a police officer. I've been with my department, I would say, about almost 17 years now, since 2006. I started as a traffic guy, blah, blah, blah. Now, it wasn't so much for me. So now my specialty is more like, we call it a CIT, it's Crisis Intervention Team. Basically, I deal with a lot of people with either mental disability or whenever they have a crisis, people want to kill themselves or suicide or hostage negotiation. They have a hostage, they call me. Anyways, so the reason why I told you that is because people ask me sometimes, why do you become a police officer? Honestly, folks, I can tell you, ironically, when I go to a call, people don't know that. I'm learning from them as much as they're learning from me. They're waiting to say, hey, officer, what do I do? But I'm learning from them. What I mean by that is, I can't be a hypocrite. So if I tell you, no, you can't beat your wife, guess what I can do? I don't care how she gets on my nerves. I can't hit her. I wanted to. You know what I mean? But I can't do it. It's true. You know, if I'm telling my kids, no, you can't steal when you go to the store. You can't be shoplifting. It's illegal. So I can't go to a store or a mall and start stealing myself. I can't do that. So, like I said, I'm learning from them as much as they're learning from me, but they don't know that. That's how I become a better person. I learn from them, and then when I come home, I apply those same advice, if you will, that I give them, so I have to apply it to them. So, having said that, I'm going to start it with my first questions. It's a little controversial. The first question I want to ask you guys, there's a lot of couple in here, and it's been going on, I heard that for the past few years. My first question, and it's a Q&A, so the more you guys participate, the better we all can learn from each other. So my first question will be, should marriage license or marriage overall has an expiration date? You know how you have your driver's license? They give it to you for what? 10 years, 5 years? The Biden administration, they give you the form for 2 years, right? Okay, so should...
I should. Man, I'm here to sing.
I thought you would answer the question. No, give us. Why? What do you think?
I think so, just because those couples, they have so many issues, for, I would say, let's say that they married for 10 years, they get married for 10 years, and they have to renew that license. And it's okay for them to sit down to think, okay, are we gonna do this again? Are we ready to do it again? Because I feel like some folks, alright? So, c'est ça qui casse un peu de relation. C'est ça mon passé moi-même. That's what I mean.
Anyone else has a different point of view? You got one? You can come. Thank you, bro.
I heard what he said. I'm not married or anything, but however, I feel like, no, it should, because till death do you part. That's what it's for. You get married for a reason. You should know all these things beforehand, and that's why you sit there and talk to the spouse or the person you're with. So the expiration date is till death do you part. You can figure it out in heaven when y'all die.
Great, thank you.
How about you now?
Okay.
All right, we got one more.
Actually, if you guys do legal, you will understand the answer of the question is already yes. It's actually true that license in so many states in the United States for marriage, you have an expiration date. You can choose to get married for 2 years. You can choose to get married for 5 years with options of renewing that, or you can choose to get married for 10 years. I don't want to get it out of Robbie because I know he's going to tell you. What I need you to understand, guys, it's out of our culture because we grew up to understand that marriage, until death, all these things. When you have that new thing of like, oh my God, you can marry for 2 years, and after 2 years, if you feel you're not okay, you can separate, nobody gonna touch your assets and all of that, it freaked you out. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at it, right, as a musician, I could get the mic and pretend that I'm gonna sing, but guess what? That's not my job. That's his job. That's what he's good at. He's been practicing it. You go to become a police officer, you spend at least 6 months in the academy to train to become a police officer. Now you're getting into something, not a career, but something for life. You have no training on what is marriage is about. I see somebody get married and I say, you know what, I can get married and follow the track. You're not happy, but you don't want to leave it alone because you feel that what society gonna say about it. I feel like even in friends, to be honest with you, friends, they're encouraging people to stay together for 5 years at least before they get married. And it's legal. In the United States right now, on the Trump administration, they just passed a new law that you may not follow. Like, for LGBT community. You're not married, but you have all the legal rights that if you were married. And again, here in the state of Florida, if you have a ménage for more than 5 years, that ménage is now legally your wife because she has all the rights of all the things that you possess unless you go to the legal process.
One question?
Oh,
So late, question. Sorry.
So I just have one question. Where is or how can I find or how can I refer someone to the training or the marriage training classes? Or
Good.
college or
Oh man, now you want me to be personal. I'll tell you what happened to me.
how do you train?
Now we have that beautiful thing going on, right?
Yeah.
But at the beginning we had the difference of culture, you know, like you're Haitian and you get somebody that's not Haitian and how you deal with all the back and forth, the child get in the middle of it. I'm a bird, I'm traveling all the time, I'm on TV and she's like, I don't have time, what do? You know, you're taking pictures with so many people that you don't even know the names, right? The same thing for him. And you get home like, who's that person taking a picture again? That person give you a kiss and what? Like, I don't know, you know, I'm taking half-naked pictures as a model. You have to explain these things, right? So what we had to go through, I don't know if they have it inside of the Haitian community, but I know other communities, they have a lot of therapy sessions. They have educational sessions about sexual educational sessions where they will train you about the same thing you were talking about, but more importantly about emotion. Because I think most of the thing for ours in our community is emotion. For men, emotion. I learned now to say, yes, babe, whatever you want. You want me to get the food? Okay. So we're not raised that way. So you learn that process and you understand at the end of the day, we are just there, but they are the one running the business who we are. So just to answer that question. Back into the king.
Yeah, that's okay. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Are you guys referring to biblical marriage or business marriage?
Great question. That's a great question. Actually, sorry. Thank you. I'm going to clarify that. I'm talking about marriage in general. So I'm talking whether it's biblical would be your point of view, basically.
Okay, because me, I truly believe in biblical marriage. Okay, yeah, I'm truly believe in biblical marriage. I'm gonna go on the Bible with you guys. God says that when you marry somebody, you become one, and no one whatsoever should get in between that. Even when you divorce, the Bible don't even know that. So if your wife died or your husband died, that's when you can remarry again. That's what the Bible says. Me, like I say, I believe in God, so I'm talking biblical. So for marriage to have an expiration date, is like, for me, I'm talking about myself, I feel like we're against God. Because he said that we're not even supposed to be married if your wife and or husband still alive. So the question is kind of like confusing me. I don't know, that's the reason why I asked if you guys talking about biblical marriage or business marriage. So if somebody can enlighten me on that, that would be great.
I'm going to try my best to do that so we can go to the next questions because I believe we're on the schedule, on the time. Because, all right. The question is, should marriage, it's general, okay? Sorry for the confusion. Basically, whether it's a business marriage, whether it's a marriage for love, the question is now, the reason why people are asking that is because a divorce is It's crazy now, right? Divorce is out of control, what, 50, 60 something percent, and even that, after they say what, divorce is about 50, I don't know the number exact, but even some of the people who stay together, they stay together because of a reason. They don't want to lose the house because of the kids. So in other words, there's more people who got married who don't want to stay married anymore. So I understand your biblical standpoint, and that's what the questions raise. So now, maybe this one is a rhetorical question. You said marriage, God says that. When I was a kid, when I was growing up, the definition of marriage was between a man and a woman. Now we have two men getting married, right? I know this seems a bit different, but it's still marriage in their eyes. We got two women getting married. So now, we talking about biblical now. However, you have two men and women still getting married. That's not my expertise. I'll let the pastor over. I'm not getting to that point. But that's what the questions raise. So, because some people argue though, if marriage license has an expiration date, there will be less divorce. If marriage license has an expiration date, more people will put effort into it if they really want to do it. If they know it's going to get expired and say, man, I love that woman, I love that guy, they will do what it takes. It's almost like a job. When you go to a job interview, the first day, what did you tell the boss? Can you work on the weekend? Yes. Can you work on the holidays? Yes. After you get the job, what did you do? I ain't working on Sunday. Yeah, we don't want to work Sunday anymore. We don't, right? That's the reality. So maybe if we have that over our head, we'll do better at relationship, we'll treat each other better, we will respect each other, we'll date each other, we'll do better job. Just my opinion on that point. All right, next question. You agree? Thank you. And folks, please, it's okay to disagree. I'm not here to convince, I'm just asking the questions, okay? So, yes. What do I do? Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to get personal with you. My wife can tell you. This is what I tell my wife. If she leaves me today, she moved out, guess what? That guy she moved in, this guy has a boyfriend. I'm moving. She ain't leaving me. I'm telling you, she's not going anywhere. If she has a boyfriend, we have a boyfriend. All right? She could ask you that. That's easy for me. No, she's not going anywhere. All right? Try to throw me under the bus. All right, second questions. Let's move on.
So you can understand you believe in an open relationship?
No, No, not that kind of party, man. All right, second questions. If, talking about marriage, if you have to do it all over again, if you have to get married, would you do it? So in other words, if you have a second chance, now it doesn't have to be to your spouse that you have now. Let's just say something happened where there's death for her, and then you have to, would you get married again? Yes or no? Going once. So if you have to get married again, all over again, would you do it?
Yes.
Okay, we have a yes and a sure. Why would you want to get married? You can tell me.
All right. The question is yes. Let's say if I were to be married again to my lovely husband, I would. If in God forbid something had happened to him, I don't believe in adultery, and I will not stay single, so I will marry to enjoy life again.
I know, sorry. All right. Anyone? Any suggestions, idea? If you have to get married, would you do it all over again? Whether it's the same spouse or not? Go ahead, you can say it. We're all family here. Go ahead, don't be scared. You're just gonna be on YouTube and Facebook.
Question, but it really depends on how the current or that marriage ended, right? So God forbid my husband passed away and we had a wonderful union. God forbid, that's the first thing I said, God forbid. and we had a wonderful union, and I still believe in love, I would eventually marry again. But if we didn't have a good union and I was hurt, or I dealt with like a lot of abuse or whatever the case is, it would be hard for me to open up my heart again. So I'm saying that to say that it really depends on how that relationship ended. That's how I see it.
That's a fair assessment. Sorry, I had to make it. Yeah, because a lot of people don't want to get married again.
All right, for me, but because I know this is not one of the questions you asked, but I was talking to my wife.
Okay.
For me and my wife, I think both of us gonna die together. That's a good one. So no other option, you know. All right, that's my take. So, if it's happened, I don't know, but I believe God answers prayer. Okay.
That's a great one. That's a great one. All right. There's always one. All right. Here's an expression for you, if you will, or statement. I know, that was a good one, though. I like that. I'm going to have to steal that one. All right. Did I get your attention for a minute? All right, next question. They say most men don't marry the woman they love the most. They marry the woman that is around when the time is right. What is your opinion about that statement? So most men don't marry the woman they love the most. They marry the woman who's around at the time they are ready to get married. That's a big one for me.
Okay. Sorry, I don't have a wireless. I apologize.
All right. For that question, I do believe love is not something you just see like a loss. Love is something like you learn to love someone. So the question say like, can you repeat the question again?
Basically.
No, that's a good one. No. Here's the issue. I'm gonna just summarize it. A lot of time when you dating, if you remember, most women, because you don't want to get married, right? They left. So now they said most men don't marry the woman they love. They marry the woman who's around. In other words, c'est leur paria, c'est les sont mariés. When they go to high school, they go to high school, sweetheart. Because she didn't want to stay for you to grow up to become a man, you guys are broke up. But once you get a job, you got a career, now you said, you know what? I think I'm ready to get married. But that doesn't necessarily mean you didn't have a first crush, if you will. Does that make sense?
From my point of view, if you waited for me to get all my stuff together, and when you see I got all my stuff together, so you try to be at the right time, so I can see you on the way to get together with you, I didn't think that's right. Because when you love someone, I feel like, you love that person. But it's not about the right time. It's like, because for me as a believer, I do believe when you want a wife, you go pray God. You ask God you need a wife, but you got to put action to it. You got to act on it. You're not going to sit around and the woman going to come. But I do believe everything happened for a reason. Because there's a lot of women around, because if I'm just waiting for somebody to be around, I would pick anyone, But I'm just saying it's the right person. That's for me. That's what I believe.
That's a good answer. Yeah, that's a good one.
Before I forget, give me 1 second. Again, I understand I'm dealing with mostly people in the, I would say, I can see maybe 80s, the youngest, by looking at the room. No, but age-wise, people in the 80s and then 70, younger than 80s? No. Born in the 80s. I'm saying because it's a different mindset. Now with the new millennial. No. Sorry, 1980s. People like, no. 1980s, younger than that. Okay, 90s, because it's a different time. So if you're asking the millennial the same, what you were just saying, you will have a different crowd, different answers. Most of us like 80s, 70s, and 90s, stop right there, right? So our perception about relationship is different. Now, if you can give it to me now, I'm gonna find somebody who can do it. So it's different, it's real. So I agree with him with what he just said, but if you're talking about right now, our generation, if you can't provide what they're asking you, most of us not staying.
Okay, that's what's called love at first sight.
Yeah.
Like you see someone, you fall in love, and then you guys can spend your whole life together, get married, and then die together. And de l'autre côté too, there's another way. Côté que you might be waiting, and then finally you have to choose someone, although you don't truly believe that's the person that you really want to spend your life with, and then you get married to that person, and then that may come to the divorce in a few years later. So we can't really predict the future. You just let it go, man. That's it. Okay?
Yeah, that's good. All right, I'm gonna try to wrap it up, but I'm gonna ask one more question before I go, and that question is gonna be inspired, obviously, by you. My questions will be, you talk about children. My question for you and for us, all of us, if you can tell us, is it the time for us to parenting differently? What I mean by that is, I can remember when I was growing up, I didn't have options, right? And when I go to a call, I kid you not, I have a call, a parent called me because the kid did not want to eat. I'm like, man, what do you want me to do? The kid does not want to eat. That's what she called 911 for. And I had so many of these calls, especially with the Haitian community, and I'm asking myself sometimes, is it time for us to parenting differently? Because I didn't have choice when I was growing up. They give you pitimi, you eat pitimi, right? They give you blip, you eat blip. Now, even I'm guilty of it too. I'm asking my kids, you want KFC or you want McDonald's? You want Chick-fil-A or you want Burger King? You give the kids options. And then they think this is what life is about. They have options also. So if you could, I would appreciate it. Or anyone else who could add to what he just... The queen! So is it time for us to parent differently than either the way you grew up or the way our parents used to raise our kids?
Tell them, babe.
Honestly, I believe that you want to take in whatever you grew up with and you want to instill it with what's going on now, okay? Because growing up for me, it was difficult because not only was I in a broken home, I had my mom in a house and I had my father in another location. And growing up with my mother, it was more discipline. Like, you have to wake up in the morning, you have to fix your bed. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. But then I ended up going with my father, who was more Americanized, and my father was more like, you don't have to make up your bed, but just make sure it's made up before you lay in it, okay? So growing up in those two households made me to understand that as a child, you don't want to be so tough to where the child revolts, to where the child feels like, I don't have an option in my house, but I have an option in school. So right now, the school pretty much, I'm in the school system as well. I'm an assistant teacher. And I've noticed that the school has given your children such a broad spectrum as to decision making. The child makes all of the decisions in the school, okay? It's gotten to the point where they no longer ask a parent for their contact information, they ask the child for their contact information. So you won't get notification about your children, but your child will receive notifications from their teacher and clubs on something that you should be able to say, no, you can't go because you didn't do your chores, but the child is making the decision whether or not they're going to go or not. So I feel like giving your child a broad decision to where you can make your decision and I'll just be there behind you, that's dangerous. But to limit their decision as to, like you said, either we're going to go to KFC or we're going to go to McDonald's. Now, when the child said, but I want Chick-fil-A, I did not ask you about Chick-fil-A. I asked you about McDonald's and I asked you about KFC. And if you can't make a decision between the two, we go home, you have cereal, and you go to bed. That's how you put your foot down as a parent because, you know, you're giving them that.
I like that. Great point, yeah. Great point. Great point. Anyone else has?
That's what I was going to say.
You might come up front for me. Whatever she said. You're a smart man. Sorry.
one more, right? You good? I wasn't watching the time. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I would say like, raising a child is not easy, but you can raise your child based on like, the way your mom or your dad, raised you. And also, sometimes kids like, they're watching stuff on TV, they want to like, apply it in their real life. Me, I am not like, a dictator, but I never give child like, any choice. My choice first. And after that, you can follow me. So sometimes, kids, like for example, there's like, 5 years old, just tell them, you're embarrassing back because she learned something at school. And then that's kind of like, frustrating to tell your parent, like, embarrassing back. 5 years old. So what I think, when you raise your child, you're not gonna like, be like, mais quand même, pas quitter de Simon, c'est lui-même qui a conduit, et puis côté le aller là pour l'aller. Non. I am the boss, and then you follow my lead. So I'm gonna do everything to protect you, to raise you and then educate you the way, I'm supposed to. But at the end of the day, I am the one that's gonna take the lead. And ma dis un bagay quick, moi je suis un social worker et je suis mal là quand on parle parce que je travaille pour une compagnie qui est Boys Town. So what we do, we kind of like teach the family how to prevent domestic violence, stuff like that. Sometimes they call 911 or call DCF for somebody that try to discipline like their child and they don't do nothing wrong. And then DCF come to their life and they kind of make the family miserable, stuff like that. And then on our first visit, we have to go with a police officer because we don't know where we're going. And I remember that guy until now, and I love him. And
that was me?
No, not you. I'm talking about the family, not the police. And when we show up to the family's house, and we have DCF and then us, he was talking. He said, he was right. When I was listening to him, I said inside of me, I said, this guy is right, but I'm coming to do my job. So we're not DCF, that's the thing. They think like, when you DCF, you come to take the child away, The job that I was in, we don't take child out. We fight with DCF, we're kind of like a middleman. We fight with DCF for the child to go back home in order for the child to grow up with family because we believe in family's discipline, stuff like that. And then the guy told the police, listen, if you have to come back to my house, you're going to come back 1,000,000 times. If my child crossed the line, I will do what I'm supposed to do. I think you really put it by Simon or Bagay. I'm sure that if I'm pas pété, I'm pas cassé pour être libre, ma balle bâton depuis traverser ligne, il pas supposé traverser. Monsieur dit police comme ça qui go to your whatever, go to your and your record. See if you see my name, my brother's name. My dad raised us in Berkeley, and then everybody knows Berkeley. And then il dit, ou pas besoin de nous là dans crash record comme vagabondage, ou bien nous te fait prison pour nous filmer drogue ou pas quelque bagaille. Il dit, our dad raised us as a military, and then I have to do the same thing for my child. So raise your child the way you think it's good for you, and then the way your family raised you.
Great point. All right, on that note, folks, listen. All the people who just talk, folks, it's okay to disagree, though. It doesn't mean that that's the way it is. That's just our point of view, right? Because I can tell you, whatever you do in your daily life, it becomes routine. It doesn't really bother you. I remember I went to the ME's office, the medical examiner, so whenever you have somebody died, so we go to the ME, get the report from the doctors, what happened. We had a newborn, an infant, a newborn baby, mom rolled over, killed the kid, right? We had a lady overdose. We have two, I believe one of them was an accident. So I was there for about 4 of them. The people after, a couple of them, right in the between of that, they said, where you going for lunch? Folks, they cutting baby's head. They cutting people up. And then they talking about food. We become numb to it. my point is, about over a year ago, I had my sister, one of my younger sisters, who got killed by a hit-and-run driver. Folks, remember when I started, I said I started doing a traffic crash. Hundreds, if not thousands of them. Just a routine call for me. Whether it's train, whether it's regular accident, it become routine. It doesn't really bother me, for the most part, unless usually there's kids involved, right? When I show up to my sister's scene, folks, I'll tell you, it hit me differently. It hit me like a brick. Something I've been doing for years. Never bothered me. When I show up, I see my sisters, they already took off, but I see the scene, the crime scene, it hit me hard. So my point is, a lot of time, like to her point, I have somebody says exactly similar to what you just said, and I asked him, but it was about the, when you said this marriage, you believe it, and then I brought up the same-sex marriage, and I said, what if your daughter come and tell you and said, Mommy, I'm gay, I'm getting married? I promise you, maybe in that moment you might take it one way. A couple hours or maybe days later, you will feel differently. Not you personally, most of us. When it's you, it's different, okay? At first, I told my son, I don't care who you brought home, as long as you didn't bring a dude home. And I mean that, but if it does, I may not show up to the wedding, I don't know yet. I don't say, who's the bride, who's the groom, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who's who, but when it's your own kid, your own, it's different.
It's just like I say it's not right in front of God. I don't have a problem.
Oh, no, I'm not saying you do.
Oh, okay. It's just not right in front of God.
Okay, all right. So, if any questions, suggestions, this is it for me. Pastor Wesley is the host. Any question, any suggestion? Going once, going twice. DJ, take it away. Thank you, y'all. Thank you for your attention. All right, folks. First off, we want to just apologize just for the delay. Obviously, without getting into, I guess, further details, you can see somebody wasn't feeling too well, so her safety first. So I was told that she's feeling much better. They said it's okay for us to continue with the program. So having said that, without further ado now, we want to have a big round of applause for Magdi, my new brother from another mother, from Amonique. Magdi, it's yours, true brother.
Yeah, Babjon Miku avec support Babjon. No side, Babjon. Wow. I hope she's okay. I know she's okay. I'm happy for the first time I'm part of this beautiful event. And I was about to tell her now that I'm mad because this is my first time for the past, I'll say, 17 years. I've been living here. I've never been part of any of this type of event. Parce que, you just show up and sing and go. That's it. And you guys don't know exactly what's happening here tonight. It's a community. You understand what's a community, right? That's where we can share ideas, thoughts. We can fight with each other, can agree and disagree. And at the end, we're still a community. We have doctors here, we have ministers here, Mr. Eddie and his wife. We have police officers, we have nurses, entrepreneurs, hosts. We get to buy your net now. One thing I'm about to say that I'm not going to stick around, singing and stuff because I'm tired of singing. Because when I'm singing, I'm thinking about Haiti, my country. I know you guys are like legions. Don't want to go back to Haiti. You guys want to go back to Haiti right now. Eating some good lambi, poisson grillé to buy but you guys can't do it. But pour nous faire mieux, je ne vais pas dire en anglais parce que je ne vais pas comprendre. Parce que je vais dire, you got to do better. Parce que il y a des gens qui vont ici, là, je ne vais pas entendre. Ça me dit, c'est pour Haïtien, men up, pour femmes, Haïtienne, women up, Haïtien, Haitian up. Le mal joué fait jamaïcain, le privé, l'homme moins gagné, it's crazy. Le mal n'a fait espagnol, it's crazy. Le mal n'a fait haïtien, toujours tout le monde arrivé au campé mangeant, tout ça. À chaque fois que je chante, they're looking at me and then they say, okay, he's making people happy. He has a nice voice, blah, blah. Like, I don't know exactly where I come from. You know why I'm a singer? Many people have asked me. I had a rough childhood. Things were really bad for me. It's my first time saying this. I was raised without my mom, my dad. But still, music was the only thing I had. Music. Singing. Chaque fois que je montais sur mon dos, quand je chantais. Because that's the only thing I had. And today, as I sing this song again, we have a community. Une communauté là, et une communauté qui a représenté nous, quel que soit le côté de passé. I want you guys to be proud of yourselves. Be happy. Because you guys are professionals. You guys are very intelligent. And you guys can do whatever you want. Because you guys can. Nous capables, pas vrai? All right. I'm just fatigué. I'm chanting in a fête. I get paid. Trust me. But the human part of myself, I feel like there's something I'm not doing. And it bothers me. And si je ne fais pas un changement, I'm going to stop singing. I'm serious. Parce que le combat que les Haïtiens sont supposés faire pour Haïti, je dis en là, and we need to stop. Bah, le président va parler dans le chat chez Ribem, and then nous allons faire conversation. Please don't look sad or whatever about my story, whatever. Nous voulons nous sentir bons, nous belles. You guys are like entrepreneurs. Regardez, man. L'histoire se compte à la baille, belle histoire, parler bon anglais. Des collèges, belle, l'école qui était en Haïti. Papa, son avocat, il était en cabinet en face de l'école d'Haïti. Vous savez, nous gros l'école. Quand on a l'école, ça ne va rien. Vous savez, nous gros l'école, toute l'école, ça ne va rien. So, une conclusion qui semble dire avant de chanter, que nous avons même pour nous montrer à least que not only nous font gala, c'est pas paraître, just chita et just manger aller, but nous venons, nous font police officer venir faire question, poser question. Parce que gala pas fait baïsa. Nous avons un ministre qui vient parler de, women's with children, how to raise a child, how to raise children. That's very important. In our affair, you really saw how to build a community. So, please, si je chante musique, pas propose nos chita, na fait zuzi, like, nous pas jamais qu'on aime depuis longtemps. Please don't do this to me. Parce que caméra, il y a une photo qu'a faite. Si nous tous nous sommes nurse practitioners, mais aucun temps mesdames avec les là, c'est parce que nous sommes capables. Et parce que nous sommes capables, nous parlons de l'ambulance. C'est pour qui ça, tout le bagage propose table ça là, mon ça là. T'as supposé tout le monde a mingle avec each other là. By your love là, me dit yo, I love you, because that's what we need. That's what we need, guys. Je ne suis pas d'accord pour la communauté espagnole, jamaïcaine, fait tout ça, capable de vivre nous-mêmes, nous étions des points de camionnette là, pendant Haïtien fait en Haïti. We cannot do this, guys. Please. Moi-même, musique, moi-même, que je ne pas faire encore. Parce que l'amour, c'est ça, je ne vais pas faire l'amour seulement pour moi. Je veux que tout le monde content. That's what I want, guys. Please. Si on a levé danser, levez danser. Pas lever danser comme si pour nous danser pour plaisir, musique, moi. Danser comme si pour nous montrer que nous sommes fraternité, que nous sommes communauté, devant le monde qui a regardé nous là, qui n'est pas haïtien. Parce que quel que soit le couteau fait, même l'autre Taïwan, Japan, China, whatever, fait sauver le pas caractère sacré les haïtiens. griota soa, you can't do that. So guys, I love you so much, but please, je ne vais pas dire en anglais, mais nous avons fait mieux. Nous obligés de faire mieux. Ce sont haïtiens. Et vous croyez que quel que soit Jean Haïti, il a changé, battre en vous Haïti. No side. Ok, whatever, on va te jouer. On commence à sonner dans mon bon politicien. On va te la musique. Guys, levez danser vous, s'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît. Montez mon petit plaisir, non, montez mon petit plaisir, montez mon petit plaisir. Levez danser, levez danser, levez danser. Officer Mami. Levez danser, levez danser, levez danser, levez danser, levez danser.
O carro é touché branco e sous. J'en tout garçon l'écoute et l'eau. Même femelle de vin font la cour. Et ça qui campait au jaloux. Ou met tout le monde au gadaro. Personne va garder les météos. Chaque fois ouvert bouchou pour parler. Au carré tout le monde attendait. À soya là c'est vous qui reste. Vous mettez dans vos t'amène. Aïe, vous mettez la terre dans la terre. Ou sans problème qui va des solutions. Sans problème, ça dit émotion. À l'instant même, c'est tout pour qui sous tension. Vous faites les envoyer à l'oreille, vous faites la abandonner à incroyable ça qu'a passé là. On dit qu'il a existé. Deuxième c'est sous yon coquet. Le secret nous bat pas pour moi. On se dit fait pas j'en fais ça. Aïe, dans le galop il passe 6 mois. On s'en problème qui va des solutions. On s'en problème qui j'ai des émotions. À l'instant même, c'est de tout qui sous tension. Vous faites les envois à soleil, vous faites la bataille à Gio. Oh, regarde Bibi. Hey, incroyable. DJ No Side. Hey, incroyable. Combat. Aïe. Anciens amis. Que moi m'a expliqué où sont exceptions dans notre qui existait. Où sont phénomènes que moi m'a expliqué où sont exceptions. se Ou gade nan chéri Mwen ti chéri Mwen santi ou pale eksplose Wache niye ou masis man leve Ou kebe ou tombe mane Ou kontinye se Ou pa mane la vie Chéri
Yes, yes, ma passe James Pierre, micro là. C'est le monde qui est content, Batman. Ma parle encore.
Non. Magdi mérite un plus gros bravo. Bâton plus gros bravo pour Magdi pour moi, ladies and gentlemen. C'est toujours un honneur de nous avoir Magdi avec nous qui fait un pile dans Haitian music industry. Obviously, Magdi, pas papa. Je suis là avec boisson, mais parce que bouteille ça pour finir. C'est au cap boire. On a very personal note, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Wow, that's almost like an extended family for coming after my wife just had a moment for a second. Thank you to all the nurses, law enforcement officers, and all of you. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. It means so much to me. She's fine. She's all right. Hopefully we'll do some checkup tomorrow and make sure that she's all right. But I think, you know, traveling from New York to Miami and had the New York Fashion Show blast every night and not eating and coming here, drinking. You guys have a glimpse of how our life is when we're in that entertainment business, you know, in TV and film. So we work non-stop. So when we have people that truly understand our lives and be there for us, I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of my family. Thank you. And as well to Erna doing such an amazing job modifying the event to be there for us. Thank you to every one of you. I wanted to, before you leave, if I can have your contact, and maybe we do something surprising for each and every one of you being there for me as a giving back. Would love to do that. Without further ado, I know that we hold you for the food. The food is ready. We're gonna go to get the food now before we have that special sparkle that we have for you before the end of the night. So I know that we're gonna do it through tables. Please follow her now. She's gonna tell you what table go first and some. From there, we're having the food. Okay, perfect. So I've just been reminding assurer nous que nous prenons assiette nous avec qui est nous sous table là et puis pour nous aller pour manger nous derrière vite manger pendant que DJ No Side. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, good. So DJ No Side will be there, keep playing nice music for you guys in a moment. So I'm glad we're back in good spirit to get the food, and then we're coming right back for something special that we have for you for the night. But once again, I want you to guys, please put your hands together for my dear brother, the one and only, my
DJ No Side.
No movement on and off camera, but we still stick together as brothers. So thank you so much, brother, for being here and for all you do. Definitely not only for me, but for the community. DJ No Side, take it over. Right, while we are dancing, actually we are eating. Est-ce que nous aimons manger? Parce que moi, lui. It's good? Very good, very good, perfect. Without further ado, as you guys know, we are all from one place, motherland, from Africa. Moun sa yo danser là jusqu'à ce que yo bouquet. M'filme yo là dans petit coin ça là, k'ap danser là jusqu'à ce que yo bouquet. So now they are ready to do an African performance for you guys. Let's welcome with a one applause, Stacy and Wildo!
Make you take your time, oh. You want to deceive me, no they waste my time, oh. Yeah. I didn't look your eyes, oh. Yeah. You want to play me for a fool, no they waste my time, oh. Yeah. Only God can tell. You want to deceive me, you want to play with my heart. You don't see me finish. Only God can tell. You want to deceive me, you want to deny. I don't talk to you, make you want to see them when I'm not baby. Come make me up, I didn't watch you, so make you just go, baby. Oh yeah, daddy, make me go, daddy.
Try.